Guardian. Eyesupsaf.
What's up, YouTube? I got a build for you guys today. Today we're talking about Swarmers. Swarmers is a leg exotic that allows you to destroy tangles and spawn threadlings. And then your threadlings unravel targets that they damage. So you automatically get a debuff from using Swarmers on enemies. I personally really enjoy this exotic. I was working on a build with the chest piece, but I feel like a lot of people are already using this, and we all know how strong this chest piece is. But for someone like myself who does a lot of solo play content, I usually either use Getaway Artist to kind of put some additional buddies out on the field so I can feel like I have a fire team. But with Swarmers, I got little minions doing my business for me. So I think you guys might enjoy this as well. So I'm gonna show you guys the build. So we are running this on Prismatic. I did attempt to run this on just a full strand setup, but there wasn't enough survivability on the full strand setup. So I think Prismatic is the best way to go for this particular build. We are running Phoenix Dive, just because we want to get our class ability back as quickly as we possibly can to continue to spawn more threadlings. We're using Arcane Needle. Obviously, we get 3 charges of this, and it also helps us to not only unravel targets, but it helps us to create tangles that we can then burst into more threadlings. And then, of course, we're using Threadling Grenade because we get to just throw more threadlings on the field. We also have Weaver's Call, so that way when we do use our class ability Phoenix Dive, we get more threadlings that spawn in. And then we are using Feed the Void to gain Devour because we're doing so much ability damage and our abilities are pretty much killing everything to proc Devour. For our fragments, Facet of Protection, I feel like this is just a staple on prismatic classes in general. The damage reduction is just too good. We're using Facet of Solitude, so landing rapid precision hits emit severing blasts. You can switch this out if you're having an issue gaining Transcendence. You can actually use Facet of Devotion if you want to, so defeating targets afflicted with stasis or strand debuffs grant bonus light Transcendence energy. So if you're running a different weapon setup and you want to get some additional melee, Facet of Devotion is actually pretty good one to run as well. We are using Facet of Purpose. This allows us to grab Woven Mail. We also have Facet of Balance, so rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy. This is really good because we're not really focusing too hard on melees. We're focusing more on grenade, so this helps us with both. When we do our darkness damage in terms of our threadlings, we get the grenade energy back, and then when we do use our weapons to do light damage, we get our melee energy back. So it just kind of helps to repeat the cycle and help with the gameplay loop. And then this last one is interchangeable. You can kind of switch it out for whatever you want, but I personally like Facet of Mending because we are spamming our grenade to get the cure. And in harder endgame content, I realized that the cure ×2 from Facet of Mending really helps with the survivability quite a bit in this build. So I personally suggest Facet of Mending, but this is interchangeable. So if you wanted to use something completely different, you can do that. In terms of the weapon setup, I am currently using Mint Retrograde with the Ahab Char. This one in particular has Heal Clip as well as Binary Orbit. You can also use Heal Clip or Kill Clip if you want to, but I like Binary Orbit just because we get a damage buff from this, plus we get a damage buff from having the strand debuffed on targets through our artifacts, so it helps our Ahab Char really hit hard. And then I do like to use Thunderlord just because this is my like go-to for overload champs. My weapon setup this season is all kinds of messed up, guys, so I don't really have a ton of options for overload champs, but you guys again can run any weapon setup that you want with this because your weapon type damage doesn't really matter as much. The only thing you really do want to make sure you have is at least one solar weapon that you can utilize to get extra damage buffs from the artifact mods. Speaking of the artifact, the main one that we want to use, of course, is Fever and Chill. So rapid precision hits with solar gives us radiant for a damage buff. I do like using refresh threads because we're making so many tangles. So when we pick up the tangles, we get extra ability energy. Threaded Blast, huge for this build. We all know how great Threaded Blast is. We've had it for multiple seasons. So Threaded Blast is definitely a staple. Cauterized Darkness, 100% amazing in this build. We're constantly debuffing targets with our strand grenades, so the solar damage just goes goes hard. Elemental Daze, if you guys haven't seen what this does, it's insane on champions. When you stun a champion, you pretty much do half of their health with whatever weapon you're stunning them with. We're also running Shield Crush. Since we are getting Woven Mail quite a bit, it allows us to get our melee back faster, and our melees do increase damage. And then since we are proccing Radiant all the time, our grenade recharges faster and does increase damage, so Shield Crush is just amazing. And then of course we are running Tangled Web just to kind of add some more suspend to everything. So creating a tangle by defeating a strand debuff target suspends nearby combatants. This happens all the time. You pretty much shoot your melee out and then you kill that target and everything around just suspends. And then by the time they're suspended, they all die because of the threadlings that you created. So Tangled Web works really, really well with this build as well. Now, these are the armor mods that we're currently using. I have this up on the screen while you guys are watching some of the gameplay. And as you guys can see in this gameplay, we are absolutely destroying these rank and file ads as well as champions. Now, like I said, I don't really have the best setup here for unstoppable champions. If you want to run an unstop with this instead of overload, you can go ahead and put in Zhouli's Bane if you want to. So Zhouli's Bane is a really good option if you want to go that route. Or you can also use the new shotgun hand cannon, which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce because I have no idea how to pronounce it. But it's completely up to you how you want to, you know, set up your weapons, like I mentioned. But this is the full mod breakdown, the full mod setup that we are running. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the gameplay. Hopefully you guys enjoy the build. Swarmers, I'd stand by this one. This one is by far one of the most fun builds that I've had the ability to use. But hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Definitely appreciate you guys coming out and checking it out. I appreciate everyone who's subscribing, appreciate everyone who's checking out the videos, liking them, commenting on them. You guys make it, you know, so much easier for me to continue to create content. So I appreciate that. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.